Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
What is going on?
Brandon, I see. Let's see what you've got back there. You've got Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
So you got that's Michelangelo, right? On the right.
Yeah, Michelangelo, Raphael. These are actually my vintage stockings from the early to mid 90s. I dug them out of storage and decided to throw them up on the wall.
What about the green thing? That green
This is
fuzzy thing.
it's a Grinch stocking we got from Hobby Lobby last year. Didn't really have a use for it this year, so I threw it up on the wall as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't really have time to think out a new background, so I just kind of threw this stuff up there, and here it is. Old school, messy Christmas. I like it. What do you think?
Too. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's funny because I actually Sydney keeps getting on my case about it. I should have done it by now, but I gotta go put up the Christmas lights like late tonight. I'm on graveyard, so I'm gonna be up all night. And so I gotta go hang up the Christmas lights outside the house tonight, which will be fun, I'm sure.
How cold is it where you are right now? Because
It's
we've had
not-
a cold spell here a little bit last couple weeks.
It's probably similar to you. I think it's like in the 50s right now, low
Oof.
50s. But
Yeah. 60 is too cold for me, man. I can't do it. Not a fan. Not a fan at all.
yeah, I mean, I'm for the longest time I was okay with heat, but now I'm getting to where I bitch about that too. So it's just I think we're at that age where you just bitch about everything.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, I forgot to change the logo at the corner. There we go. Listen, guys, we're gonna have a fun show tonight. Obviously, it's a chill show. I haven't done one with me and Brandon tonight. I legitimately, guys, I did not reach out to Cody this time. I have not done a show with me and Brandon in a while, so I want to take it easy tonight, have a good time, talk to you, the chat, get to your questions. Obviously, there's stuff for us to discuss tonight. I'm gonna do a formal video on this tomorrow, but I mean, we have to talk about Return of the Living Dead. I've been getting bombarded with messages on today's video. It's funny, Brandon, the video I dropped today, there's more comments asking me about that than pertaining to the video itself.
Right.
So we're going to get into that. Let's see who we have with us tonight. I got to cough so fucking bad. And speaking of coughing, first of all, welcome everybody. We already got 100 people in here. Drop a like on the show tonight. We got I forgot you got the haircut.
I did. Yeah, it's growing back, but there it is.
You know, you kind of got the is that the Wolverine thing? Like your hair is dark right here, but right there in the corners.
Yeah, I'm getting the wings like Polly. That's what's going on. Yep, the gray hair is coming in perfectly.
I love it. Brennan, I've decided because I make no bones about this, and I don't care. I don't care if I get made fun of. It's just my thing. I don't care. I get a little bit of gray right here, and I tell Sydney I'm too young for gray hair. I can't do it. Yeah, I color my hair frequently. Now I don't go out of the box anymore. Well, no pun intended, but like I stay pretty straight ahead with just like a dark brown. I keep my hair dark brown. Now, if my beard ever starts going gray, then I'll let it go, and then I'll be a silver fox. But dude, I'm 32. I'm too young for gray hair. I can't do it. You know.
Yeah, my gray started coming in at 25, I think. the beard is all white now. Like it was brown up until about 2 or 3 years ago, a little bit. Now it's all white. There's no brown left.
Yeah,
it's all white.
All right, we got some super chats we're gonna get to. Thank you, Saturn Video. CHH falls into a mind warp in the presence of Beta Butter. His eyes start shooting rainbow rays of blinding light, and he's rendered powerless against the new god. Mortal flesh is useless against the Beta power. Thank you so much, Saturn Video. Let me give you a little clip.
I feel like people sleep.
The story continues. And then we've got the great Quentin loves horror movies and trains. Brandon, I always say he puts trains before horror movies, right? But we never hear Quentin talk about the trains.
Never.
Not once.
It's really upsetting, actually. It's really upsetting.
Thank you. Hey, Christian and Brandon, I just want you to know happy Friday the 13th and that my birthday is on Tuesday. I'm going to be turning 20. Dude, happy early birthday.
Happy birthday.
Welcome to your 20s. You're an old man now. Get used to it. Actually, no, you're not an old man. God, imagine being 20 again.
No thanks. What a pain in the ass. I don't miss my 20s at all, but I'll just throw that out there.
Let me give him a clip as well. Where are we going? I love this one. We're just gonna stick with this. Well, yeah, we're gonna stick with this one for just now. We're swapping up tonight. We're getting more super chats.
I feel like people sleep.
Planet Silver Fox. All right. So, Brandon, before we get started, I just want to let you know that I am drinking tonight out of my cup based on
Oh, look at that.
the smash hit 1999 movie, The Mummy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is
Sydney got
awesome.
this for me. This was from Fright Rags.
Nice. Oh, so it's like a new cup.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
it literally looks like it's from like 1999. Like it's
That's
just
what I
the
thought. I'm
Mummy
like, is it
face.
from a movie or something? Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, what a killer poster that was, that iconography of that first movie with the face in the sand. Like, that shit was so dope.
I love that movie.
So good. So good.
Yep. Yeah, you should have got it, Saturday. It's an awesome cup. I mean, it's awesome because it doesn't look like a
Novelty cup.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's trying to be a retro cup. It literally just looks like the poster. And Sydney knows. I got to turn my fan on, dude. It's hot as balls.
Yeah, same. My fan's on full blast. It's cold outside and too hot in the house. I dig that sweater.
Oh, thank you. I got this off of Pizal's Tea Public. By the way, in my background, guys, just for shits and gigs, I have got the smash hit 1988 Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood DVD playing.
Fantastic.
So
fantastic.
I just thought everybody should know that's what's going on in the background tonight. Brandon, it is Friday the 13th, but I have to admit it does not feel like it at all. Although I've tried very hard today.
Yeah, I can't get into the groove. I was gonna think about watching Friday the 13th at some point, and I just can't. I can't get my groove on for it.
But I think it's because it's a weird time, right? It's a December Friday the 13th, but it's actually a perfect time to watch Jason Takes Manhattan because, as we all know, that's a winter slasher film.
No, the right winter movie is already on your TV right now. That's the right one for winter.
I can agree with that. I can't agree with that because maybe it's saying too much about myself, but I really feel like I can tell cold night woods when I see it, right? And like they shot that in what was that? That was Southern Woods.
Yeah,
because you could tell Southern Woods look totally different from like the New Jersey pines.
They shot that in Alabama, I think, right?
Alabama.
Yeah.
Maybe Part 6 was Georgia.
6 was Georgia. Yeah. But I mean, the woods, the Florida woods, Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama woods are very, very similar.
Right.
So I agree.
Part 7 was Alabama. Okay, so there you go, Brandon. So I met you halfway. I've got you know what's funny is when you blow up those old remaster DVDs from 2009, they don't look that bad. You know? People get mad at me when I say that because you're supposed to be the 4K guy. Well, so let's see what we got in the chat tonight, Brandon. Like I said, guys, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm gonna make a formal video on this tomorrow, but we are gonna talk about Return of the Living Dead. I broke my own rule. I watched the damn trailer, but first, let me just say hey to everybody in here. Let's just kind of get this going. Movie Misfits. Of course, we've got our good friend Saturn Video. We've got Zen in here. Zen's becoming a regular. It's good to see you, Zen. Blu-ray Addict, Summertime Blues. We got Dave Vanderhoff with Part 7 on Alabama. See, Dave is the kind of guy, if it's a Friday the 13th in December, he don't give a shit. He's watching Friday. He will make it feel. He's one of those guys. He used to get on my case all the time. He's like, Christian, why aren't you posting about Christmas stuff right now? Where's your Christmas horror? I'm like, I'm not feeling it. He's like, no, you have to.
Yeah.
So I bet you Dave is celebrating Friday the 13th today.
Oh, yeah.
Got to watch Black Christmas Soup. What's up, Keith Richards? Blu-ray Addict, Adrian James, Mike Mack. True Christmas feels are in full swing. I think that's the case. I really do. Lone Wolf watched New Blood last night. LTO Shrek, where's Jason? He's coming. Look at this Shrek in the bottom corner of the profile picture. I didn't see it at first. You see it?
Fantastic.
It's 18 degrees in Jersey.
No way.
Hey, Brandon, Dave, have you seen those? Brandon, are you keeping up with the news? These
drone stuff?
Yeah. Dave, have you seen the drones? Eddie Trunk keeps talking about it, Brandon. He's like, got video of these big ass drones just over. Why is nobody shooting them? Don't you?
I don't know.
If that was Florida.
Oh, they'd be shot down. Who the hell was I listening to? Was it Theo Vaughn? Somebody I listened to on the way to work said, "Why is nobody flying their own like video drones up to these things to get a better look at them?" I mean, that's a good point. Second of all, I've seen some of those videos where you hear them hovering, and they sound an awful lot like those. I forgot what they're called. Those specific helicopters when they hover.
Yeah.
Very similar noise. So, like, I don't know. The whole thing's weird, man. We need a clear daytime look at these things.
What do you think? What do you think it is?
I don't know.
Guess.
I
think it's an
clue.
elaborate troll.
It's probably a troll. I mean, those big drones exist. Our cable company uses them to fix power lines and shit here.
You kidding?
They're not the size of SUVs, but they're pretty damn big. They're probably the size of my desk, and they look huge. But they're really, really, really big drones, like giant. So, if somebody had a few of those, I could see them. I don't know. I don't think it's I don't know. I don't think it's a government conspiracy. I don't think it's UFOs.
How does this end?
I think it just fades away. That's what I think.
I think somebody's going to shoot one of them.
I hope so.
I think the fear is
that
would technically, if somebody actually shot at one of the drones, let's be realistic for a second. That could be a felony, right? Because you could potentially harm. Technically, I guess you could say that's still private property, and also you run the risk of one of those bullets coming down and hurting somebody.
Yeah, I feel like I think there's a law here. I'm not sure how it is in Jersey. I think if drones come within a certain distance of your property, you're allowed to shoot them down. But I doubt it's that way in New Jersey. And these things are way high up, aren't they? In all these videos, like they're way the hell up there. They're not close.
No, they're high. Yeah, they're high up.
Yes, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's police surveillance. Maybe they're rolling out some kind of a new surveillance and they're just testing it. And they're not going to come out and say it. Like maybe it's for like drug busts or something.
Dude, I tell you what though, I'm keeping very close attention to these things because thank you so much, JG Michael, with the $5 super chat. Happy Friday the 13th. Return of the Living Dead teaser looked good, but its tone didn't have the punk rock comedic ethos I hope it'll have, because that's what made the first two so great. First of all, thank you, JG Michael. Happy Friday the 13th, right back at you. Are we gonna let's see what people think about the drones first, because I don't want to be the I have a feeling, Brandon, me and you are gonna bring the room down on Return of the Living Dead. I really do, but maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
So let's see. I think I will pick up Seinfeld. I gotta look at the price again, but I'm very interested in getting that. Did you see Austin Butler's cast as new Patrick Bateman? Yeah, I really think that's gonna absolutely suck. I don't get Austin Butler. I thought he was pretty good in Elvis, but other than that, the guy to me is he's a pretty boy.
He was good in Dune.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody was good in Dune, right? I mean, Batista was good in Dune.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. I don't buy him yet. He hasn't won me over, to be honest.
Well, the thing is, like, even if he's masterful in the movie's a masterclass in filmmaking, people are not going to accept it no matter what, because the Christian Bale American Psycho is the staple.
It's considered
never gonna
classic
top it
at this point.
It's like the new Harry Potter series. Like, it could be a masterpiece. Nobody's going to care because it's not the original cast. It's not the iconography.
Right. Yeah, I think dude, this movie is it's insane to think about. This movie is, well, I take that back. It's well over 20 years old. So to remake it, I guess they remade Night of the Living Dead 22 years after it came out. And I think, son of a bitch.
And technically, this isn't a remake, right? It's a reinterpretation of the novel.
Can I bitch for a second? Can I seriously just bitch for a second? And if the audience in the show tonight wants to give me shit back, feel free. But all you motherfuckers out there that are these actually people, every goddamn time I talk about a movie that has the same fucking name and it's the same goddamn movie made over again, whether it's Pet Sematary from 2016, whether it's what have you, and I call it a goddamn remake. Actually, it's a reinterpretation of. Give me a fucking break.
Oh, he's calling me out, chat. He's calling me out.
Personally. I get this shit all the time, and I'm like, are you guys are, and if this is you, Brendan, I'm sorry. I really do get tired of it. It annoys the shit out of me. I keep my mouth shut. I never respond back to the comments, but it's just like, is it really that important to you that if I just call it a goddamn remake, that way people know which version I'm talking about, and I don't say the 2016 novel interpretation, like, or what? Is it that important that you guys have to correct me on this shit every goddamn time? Like, it annoys me so much, Brandon. Brandon, you have to admit it's silly.
Do you get a lot of that in the
All
comments?
the goddamn time. Literally every time I talk about a movie that's a remake or a reboot, whatever the hell, I always get corrected by somebody.
But on that note, would you also agree?
A reimagining.
Would you also think it's important to make the distinction though? Like, so technically, for example,
if you know what film I'm talking about, then no. The answer, like, genuinely, my answer is no. My answer is no.
Like the It miniseries, you could say the 2017 film is a remake technically, but in reality, they were just adapting the book again.
All right, how about this? If you start correcting everybody when they say, "Oh, I could care less," and say, "Well, the expression's actually I couldn't care less." If you're consistent and you correct people for every, yeah, it's I couldn't care less. I could care less means you have a amount of care and you could care less about something. I couldn't care less.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, you were. But see, my point is, if you were consistent with actuallying everybody on stupid shit like this, then I'd be okay with it. But I don't know what it is about this stuff. People, like, they get upset. They get annoyed when I call it a goddamn remake. It's the It remake. People know what I'm talking about, right? If you know what I'm talking about, I'm like, that's all I care about. It's insane. I've heard it all, Brandon. A reimagining, a reinterpretation, a reboot. Like,
I think it has to do with because I don't know why we're getting off on a tangent about this, but I think the biggest thing about that is it's people referring to the novels because it's based on like a novel versus like them remaking a movie. It doesn't matter, but you know what I mean? I think when it's based on a novel and not just a remake of a movie, that's where the distinction comes in. But I could also see it getting pretty annoying if everybody's clowning on you about it, including me.
All the time.
Including me.
All the time.
I'm gonna do it 10 times worse now.
Oh, I bet you will. Brandon, if you do, I'm gonna slap you upside the head with this unrated Jason Goes to Hell VHS tape.
Look at that.
So, Brandon, I'm really bummed out. I really thought maybe today we're gonna get kind of a sneak peek announcement on Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X from Arrow. It's no secret that, you know, it looks like Arrow is in fact working on that. Now, whether Freddy versus Jason is going to be involved in this, that we don't know. We don't have that information at this time. But Adam Marcus has openly talked about not only is Arrow doing it and they're restoring the movie in 4K, but Adam was trying to help them get the rights to release that version with Creighton Duke, the 3-hour cut, if you will. And here I'm going to bitch about something else. Okay. And I actually think you are going to meet me halfway on this. I've talked a little bit about how I would absolutely love to see what Adam's original version of Jason Goes to Hell looks like, or very, very close to it. Oh, it's going to suck. It's going to be a POS. Thank God they cut that movie. It's going to be terrible. And my thing is, okay, don't you want to say you can see it though? Don't you want to say, oh, I at least I've seen it. At least I have the ability to watch it. I don't like to be Mr. Overtly positive, Brandon. Nobody does. People that are super positive about everything are just as goddamn annoying, right? But it's like, wouldn't you at least be like, well, hey, maybe it may not be great, but you know what? It's history. It's Friday the 13th history. I'll be able to see stuff that hasn't been released yet. Whether it's good or not is really not important. I swear, man, people just annoy the shit out of me on the internet. This is what happens, Brandon, when you're on the internet for as long as I've been on it. And you've probably been on just as long as me, but maybe not as consistent as I've done YouTube. You just start getting fed up with seeing stupid shit all day long.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm excited to see I really hope we can see that cut. Who wouldn't want to see it? Who cares if it's good or not? It's footage from Friday the 13th you've never seen before.
Well, it's the same thing with the producer's cut. Like, why wouldn't you want to have the option to watch it if you want? Just change things up.
Exactly. Thank you. Richard says he wants to see it. Kevin wants to see it. Zen wants to see it. There you have it. D wants to see it. Yeah, we lost Mr. Tony Todd. I want to pay respects to him, obviously. Absolute legend. Rest in peace, Tony Todd, Candyman 1, 2, and 3, Night of the Living Dead 1990, Hatchet 1 and 2, Wishmaster, Final Destination franchise. Legend, funny guy. Now, Brandon, have you ever met him at a convention?
I have not, no, unfortunately.
So I never like paid to meet him. I was able to say hi and shake his hand once at a convention because he was just Brandon. He had I saw him before he really got sick. You could tell Tony was probably battling something the last couple of years or so because he got real lean, right? And sometimes when people just kind of like drop a bunch of weight and really drop weight in their face, where their face starts to kind of, you start to question, but you don't want to say anything because you don't want to look like a jerk. But I remember seeing videos and clips of Tony and thinking to myself, man, he doesn't look too good. So, when he passed, it was obviously upsetting as a fan, but I kind of said to myself, yeah, I guess I'm not totally surprised about that. But I got to see Tony before he was conceivably sick. This was a number of years ago. Dude, the life force that guy had in a room was incredible. Like I watched him get up from his table at Texas Frightmare, where it's tons of people everywhere. No bullshit. He is a legitimate at least 6'5". I mean, he's a big mother. And he got up, he walked straight out of there, walked to the bathroom around people, and people just cleared. They didn't want to, they got out of his way. He wasn't worried about nothing. You could just, when he was walking through the crowd, you just saw this big black guy just walking through, towering over everybody. And it was crazy to see, but yeah, he's a true icon, man. It does suck that we lost him.
It does suck. That sucks a lot.
Damn, man.
Was it cancer? Did we find out what exactly it was?
No, I don't think so, but I mean, you have to imagine.
Yeah.
You have to imagine he probably was battling some sort of cancer.
Like when Sid Haig started dropping all that weight, and then not too long after that, unfortunately.
Akeem, what's up, man? Good to see you. Akeem, you got all your melts, right? Because I remember you had messaged me about that one order that I told you was very close to you, but just let me know if you have any problems. Message me or Sydney. We'll take care of you. But I'm hoping everything was good. The mail's slow, man. I ordered something off eBay. Brandon, I got one of those little classic blow molds from the 80s, the 70s, of those little pumpkins on the little plastic haystacks. I finally got one at a decent price. I ordered it like November 2nd, and I finally got it. It's just been stuck in the mail in the mail for weeks and weeks and weeks. So, but okay, so I'm done bitching, guys. I'm in a good mood tonight. I just needed to get that off my chest about all that crap. All right, Brandon, so let's get into it.
Okay.
Return of the Living Dead. Let's talk just about the merit of the trailer. What you see, which isn't a whole lot, and I don't think it's really. Just go ahead. Give me. Don't think about it. Just tell me what you thought.
I mean, it was a teaser trailer. It says that on the title. So I wasn't expecting a lot of footage at all. I was expecting footage that probably wouldn't even be in the film, just a little segment, a presentation to get us excited or try to build excitement within the community. So I wasn't expecting much. What I saw, I thought it looked really good. It was really visually appealing. It didn't look low budget. It didn't look anything like Rave to the Grave or the Acropolis or even Part 3, like the cinematography, whatever it was. I'm not even sure if was it actually filmed or was it like CGI? I couldn't tell for sure. I only saw it on my phone. But what I saw, it looked really nice. I thought it looked really good. It looked crisp. It looked clear, detailed.
I think it was real.
The lighting was really cool. I liked the Tar Man being hidden in the shadows, but you could tell it was him. The dragging of the Christmas tree, the snow. I thought it was cool. I thought it was dope. I can't say that I'm excited for it, but I'm optimistic. The fact that it's going to be set in 1985, a few months after the first film in a separate town. I think it's going to be set in Pennsylvania instead of Kentucky. I think that's what they said is going to happen. I don't know where the story goes, but I don't know, man. It just looks. I think it looks cool.
Just for the record, Julian, I give Brandon a pass because he went to film school. so he could talk about, like, if you went to film school, you can comment on cinematography. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. But if you're a plant worker like me that sweeps floors and pushes buttons, like, I don't know shit about cinematography, and most of us don't. But
No, that
Brandon,
teaser,
I said Brandon gets a pass. He can comment on that.
I think a lot of people, from what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot, but from what I've seen, it seems like people are not really digging that teaser. I'm not sure what people want really. We're
Well,
not going to get the first film.
I think I have an idea of why. I really do.
Shoot.
We talked about this briefly yesterday. And I'll tell you, anybody that's watched his movie Kill Her Goats, you wouldn't think this guy could direct his way out of a paper bag. It was truly one of the most abjectly bad made movies I've ever seen in my life. Just horrendously bad. And it's one of those things where I'm just kind of shocked that this guy is making movies. He did a movie called Fog City after that, which was a half a step better. But I'll agree with you that teaser trailer amped me up a little bit. But I'm going to be honest with you, the same thing. Why the fuck is this a goddamn Christmas movie?
I think they just wanted a change of pace, and like there hasn't really been a lot of Christmas.
A change of pace is making a Return of the Living Dead film. That's a change of pace.
It still might be. Those movies don't belong to a time of year, really.
The July. What are you talking about? It's a summer thing. Return of the Living Dead is such a summer movie.
That's the first movie. Second, third, fourth, fifth don't necessarily happen on those dates.
No, they don't. But they inherently feel like summer movies.
I think part 2 feels like a springtime movie, like a spring break movie. That's what it feels like to me. Part 2.
Yeah, but I'll accept that. There's nothing that screams winter Christmas. Like it's one thing to make it a winter movie, dude. Like I really think that right now the trendy thing to do is to make your horror movie a Christmas movie. Like
probably.
I'm so ready to get past this shit. I really am.
It's gonna trend for a while, dude, for sure. Terrifier, it's definitely gonna trend. It's definitely gonna trend for sure. I mean, it might be. I mean, I don't know. Man, it might be really cool though. Trioxin zombies during Christmas time, like that's going to be different. At least a snow-ridden cemetery, then busting out of the ice, like that might be cool. That might be really cool. Tarman sort of freezing up as he walks, like that shit might be fucking dope.
Yeah, but the concern is, how well is this guy going to do? What team does he have working with him?
Mm-hmm.
How well is the script? Number one, because the original 85 Return of the Living Dead is probably, just reading that movie, Brandon, would probably be one of the more entertaining scripts to read. I mean, that movie is perfect. A lot of us will agree 1985 Return of the Living Dead is literally a perfect horror comedy.
Yeah, it is. Do you what the hell was I going to say? Shit, I totally lost.
I can't tell if people are being serious or if they're just fucking with me now.
I mean, winter does start before December 25th. So. Anyways, do you think it was a mistake? I remember what I was going to say. It's a question about the director. I haven't seen the movie.
Dave. Give me a break.
I have not seen the movie, the Killer Goats movie you're talking about.
Right.
Do his movies look really well, but they're just bad movies, basically, but they look good? Because that might be concerning. Because the trailer looks good, but it could be a pile of crap.
I would say yes to that.
Hopefully not. My only gripe really is, and this is going to sound so lame, is I think the title Return of the Living Dead is not strong without the at the beginning. And I realize they're probably trying to differentiate it from the first movie, but without the, it's not powerful.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the new Texas Chainsaw movie was just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And I think they did that to differentiate it right from the first movie. It's sort of like, I don't know, it just seems weaker without the.
I agree.
As lame as that sounds. It sounds lame, but it just seems.
I agree with that. Now I'm wondering.
It might be on purpose, dude.
The sequels are just called Return of the Living Dead 2 and Return of the Living Dead 3. They don't have the in the sequels either.
Part 1 and 2 have the. Part 3 doesn't. Part 4 and 5 do not.
My poster doesn't have the on it.
And part 2?
On my poster. That's my theatrical poster, though.
For part 1?
All right, yeah, thank you, guys. I'm trying to get in a good mood, but if we have 150 people in here and we don't have 100 likes, I'm getting fucking irate.
Christian's pissed tonight.
I'm
I don't know,
irate.
man. I am very, very optimistic about that trailer.
Please
I know
drop
the
a like.
cast of the original movie is not too fond of it because of the trashes.
Well, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Did you research that a little bit? Let me just say this, and you fill in the blanks. Beverly Randolph is claiming they are illegally using their IP or their images in
I
this movie.
I couldn't really tell what she meant in her posts. I'm not sure.
Let me pull it up while we discuss this.
I'm not sure. I have a feeling that they're going to use footage of the first movie or footage of their like using likeness of their characters for some kind of recap. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that, but the fact of the matter is, like, we talked about this yesterday for everybody wondering a little bit about the legality of it. And if this guy didn't have the rights to make it, it wouldn't be being embraced by all these studios and the potential theatrical run and bloody disgusting. Like, it's not a fan film. Whoever made this movie, they have the rights to it. So unfortunately, even if the cast doesn't like it, it's unfortunate.
I have the post in question that kind of went somewhat viral on Facebook about this, guys. Please like the video, for God's sakes. So Beverly Randolph said this in regards to the new Return of the Living Dead film.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting to see that the guy who illegally sold and used our images and hasn't paid us in a settlement is making a Return of the Living Dead movie. I'd refer to his prior works and then decide what kind of film will emerge. My money is on Linnea Quigley's Trash's Revenge. It has cameos at the original cast, and yes, the gentleman producing and directing has already paid us and given us deposits. Two worlds apart for sure. Now, I'm going to be dead ass honest about this. Number one, if anybody thinks that a fan film, including Linnea Quigley and the original cast, is going to be good, it's just not. I really think that Never Hike Alone set a precedent that is just Never Hike Alone set a precedent that is just going to spoil it. We're going to be spoiled from that. We're going to think all fan films can be that good, and they can be, but not everybody's will. And so I'm not really excited about a fan film, but I don't know what she's referring to. What did this guy do where they had a settlement and all this? I don't know the facts about that, right? I don't know the details about that.
Well, there was a rights issue between two of the original producers and the writer recently, wasn't there?
You know what? I think Bloody Disgusting did something about this. Let me look it up.
It's confusing, but even if that's the case, I still don't see why the original cast would be so against it. Like, I don't understand. Like, they can be upset about it, but like, they don't have to. Like, there seems to be a lot of hate for it. I'm not really sure what happened. There's got to be more to the story, obviously, way more, because this seems like there's like some kind of blood feud beef. The way that they're going at it with each other, it's pretty crazy,
big time. All right, well, this is just what Bloody Disgusting posted. Yeah,
look at that shot, dude. Like, that's sweet. That's fucking killer, dude.
I'm going to admit that is sweet. Now, Brandon, here's something I will say in defense of the Kill Her Goats guy. I will say this. They were original ideas. So for him to use a property that is established could benefit this guy. Believe it or not, Kill Her Goats was not a remake. I know it sounds like a classic, but no, he created Kill Her Goats and Fog City. But this was posted just days ago. Now, that image, I will admit, looks good because at least they're using the snow to work with the haunting nature of the cemetery. It's used as an element to elevate the imagery.
It's almost Batman Returns this, isn't it?
I'll be coughing tonight, guys. I do apologize. We had learned just about a year ago that the rights holders, Living Dead Media, were developing a reboot of the Dan O'Bannon created horror comedy classic franchise, Return of the Living Dead, which hasn't spawned a new movie in almost 20 years. This week, Bloody Disgusting learned a big announcement is going to be made by the team tomorrow. In the meantime, Living Dead Media and director Steve Walsh, Muck Kill Her Goats, have provided Bloody Disgusting with 2 exclusive images from the upcoming movie. Suggests that the project is indeed still happening and coming soon. Both exclude teasers from a Christmas winter theme for the next installment. One of the greatest horror coming. Blah 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 blah. Living Dead Media previews. Our reboot of Return of the Living Dead will expand the existing world created by the original 5 films. Hold, time out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Time out. Brandon, he wins me over a little bit by including Metro. Go ahead.
Yes. I was going to say, I've seen 3 different articles that say that he's including all 5 films. Now, they could be misquoting, and he could have said it sort of out of his ass. Like, that's not we don't know for sure, but the fact that they even say that is like, okay, that's cool. If they're even including the 4th and 5th movie in this weird ass mythology, that's fucking killer. You know what I mean? Because maybe there'll be a new variant of trioxin in this movie, because in 4 and 5, it wasn't 2,4,5 trioxin, it was just trioxin 5, which is a different variant, why there were different types of zombies.
And it was from Chernobyl.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see a totally different type of zombie in this film. Because in 4 and 5, you could kill him with a headshot.
Here's something else, Brandon. There was a tar man in Rave to the Grave, a different tar man.
And he looked good. He was not bad looking at all.
No, it was actually the best part of the movie.
Yeah, the hitchhiking is hysterical.
So Living Dead, original 5 films, while staying true to the R-rated sci-fi horror dark comedy roots adored by fans of the cult classic around the world for 35 years. So we got the shot of the cemetery, and some people are speculating that this was AI, but I don't think so.
Even the best AI video generators like Luma do not look that good. They just don't.
Let me just research Return of the Living Dead and see if they covered the lawsuit.
You know, Blu-ray Addict brings up, he says Tony Gardner is working on the film. I heard that too. I read that somewhere else, which is cool.
Hold on. If Tony Gardner's working on the film, he worked on the original film.
He did. I'm pretty sure he's doing the effects for this film.
I really wish Kenny Myers was working on it, though, because that's the real Return of the Living Dead guy to me. He worked on the sequels.
Yep.
Here we go, Brandon. Here we go. I found it.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's read up. Guys, drop a like if you're actually enjoying this, because I don't want to hang on this too long. But obviously, with this being my favorite movie, and I think at least one of Brandon's as well. I know he loves it just as much as me. I have a vetted interest in this. All right, so let's see what this legal battle is. All right. Let's see. We learned that the rights holders Living Dead Media were planning a Return of the Living Dead with Steve Walsh attached to direct. This information gleaned from the company's official website. The website, it seems, is no longer online. So that's interesting. They have a website for Living Dead Media, but that was gone. A reboot. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. The plot thickens. This week, with Deadline reporting today that there's now a legal dispute over the rights to Return of the Living Dead. According to Deadline's report, a lawsuit over the rights to the intellectual property of the 85 horror comedy The Return of the Living Dead has been filed today in a Los Angeles court. The company that filed the lawsuit is Living Dead Media LLC, and it's been filed against a new company called ROTLD Originals LLC that was formed on July 7th, 2024. Sew it up. Living Dead Media is the company that's making the movie.
Yeah, they own the franchise.
And they're suing the new company, which is Beverly Randolph and all them.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Beverly Randolph started the company, it says.
So I'm assuming that's why theirs is a fan film.
That's why they're so bitter.
Yeah, and it's been filed against a new company called ROTLD Originals that was formed on July 7th. Oddly enough, this company was formed by Return of the Living Dead co-star Beverly Dawn Hartley, a.k.a. Beverly Randolph, and the Living Dead Media says she has no actual ownership rights. Living Dead Media claims that the newly formed ROTD's Originals is attempting to interfere with active and existing contracts between Living Dead Media and its licenses. Lawsuit states, simply being an actor film does not grant or convey any particular rights to the character or any other characters or the right to the film. That makes sense to me. You're a hired actor to work in the film. Miss Hartley has no rights or interest in the original film. Neither Miss Hartley, RLTLD, nor any of the other purported members have any rights whatsoever to any of these characters or merchandise that is being sold by these licenses. Living Dead Media, according to court documents, owns the copyright in it and to the original screenplay and the underlying script for the Return of the Living Dead film and other trademarks, including... Okay, so we're done with that. So now let's read this again, Brandon, to see if we can fill in the blanks. Now, this is what she posted yesterday. Interesting to see that the guy who illegally sold and used our images hasn't paid us in a settlement and is making a RLTLD movie. Illegally sold and used our images. What does that mean, do you think? Sold and used our images.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what she'd be talking about.
It sounds like a mess, Muzzak, but there is no actual mess at this point. The fact of the matter is, Living Dead Media has the rights. They're making the movie. And as a matter of fact, they better be filming this shit soon. They'll probably film it right now, Brandon. If it is going to be a winter movie, they're going to film it while it's... I'm assuming they're going to actually try to film in the snow and things like that. So they're probably going to film it up north somewhere. You said it's supposed to take place around the PA area. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, I don't know what to expect really if they don't own the franchise. You know, that's the end of the story. They're making their movies and they're making a fan film, which is fine. Who knows? Maybe they weren't even trying to interfere with the new version. They just wanted to make their fan film and have that new company with the Living Dead LLC, whatever. And maybe they're sort of bitter because they're getting sued by Living Dead Media, even though they weren't really trying to do anything but make fan films. And maybe that's why they're bitter. You know, it could be that. Sort of like when we try to make Ghostface and Fun World had a huge problem and try to stop it.
What did they say to you?
They didn't want to grant us permission to use the mask, and they were threatening to take the video off YouTube and all kinds of stuff. It was a big mess, all for a fan film that was making no money, made by nobodies in Florida. Fun World had a huge problem with that. We didn't license the mask, even though it was a fan film. We don't have to legally do it. They had a bunch of huge red tape, and we sort of ended up just saying, "Screw you, we're going to do it anyway," and we did it.
And then they just...
They never came back. I need to make a really in-depth video. I still have emails back and forth with Fun World.
I would love that.
I have emails back and forth with I don't know if it was Paramount, 1 or 2 messages where basically the lady says, we can't grant you permission to, because basically it came down to Fun World said, yeah, you can use it, but we can't sign off until, I think they said Paramount signs off. And I'm not going to get Paramount to sign off on anything, and we didn't. And then I kind of just let it go and put it on YouTube, and it's been on YouTube ever since. So I think they were trying to play hardball and try to be bullies, and they realized that they really have no legal standing to say we can't.
That, and they just look like jerks stopping a fan film too. Like that, the PR of that is Paramount. It seems like they left Never Hike Alone, or Warner Brothers really at this point. They left those because Paramount they have the rights to their 8 movies on home video at this point. So like Warner Brothers, they seem to just leave. They just seem to leave the Never Hike Alone guy, leave him alone as long as he's not. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's bad PR if that gets out.
It is. Yeah,
you know,
it is.
Zombie movies with convoluted rights sounds familiar. Yeah, obviously with Dawn of the Dead and everything. McHorror says, I hope they don't try to make it all artsy and serious. McHorror, if you saw Kill Her Goats, the word artsy would be so far removed from your vocabulary when talking about anything that this Kill Her Goats guy.
Well, that's a good question. What do you want from it? And I know we're trying to get off the topic of Return of the Living Dead, but like, I do kind of want to see.
I'll tell you exactly what I want.
I can't even speak tonight. I want a Living Dead film a Christmas movie in the vein of the tone of Krampus 2015. It was really dark and serious and gritty, but there was a little bit of levity. And you could say the same thing about the original film, but I want even less levity in this new version. I want intensity.
We're going to talk about that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That too. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want. I want it to be a sort of a dark, gritty, serious.
Me and you were
barely any comedy.
Well, this is me and you on the exact same page about this. I figured out what I love about a great horror comedy. The actors in great horror comedies that I love, the actors are playing it straight as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's the situation itself and the editing and all that make it funny. That's what I want. So the actors in this movie go for it. They're giving it hell. They're treating it very seriously. It's the editing. It's the look of the film. It's the scenarios itself where the humor comes out of. If they do that, I think we actually have a decent shot at having a pretty good movie. And
hopefully.
And I'm not going to be the guy that says, well, you know, they made Necropolis and Rape to the Grave are already so bad. This one doesn't matter. I'm not gonna. It's too long since then. So when you have so much distance in time from that, it kind of clears the drawing board out. Now you don't have to look back at the previous entry and say, well, as long as it's better than that, it's too far. We're too far removed from that. So I am going to hold this to a little bit of a higher standard, especially with just dropping any kind of tagline. I'll be honest with you. I really would have preferred had this movie had a sub name to it, Return of the Living Dead, Frozen Empire or something like that. You know, I'm always going to be that guy. I love continuity, especially if this guy's saying he's going to respect all 5 films, which I no pun intended, respect that as well. But I don't know. I think also if you have a tagline like that, it kind of not shields you from criticism, but I think the audience will feel like this guy respects the movies too, that he's gonna, you know, not encroach on the title. I don't know, that maybe that's just me, but I would have preferred a tagline title.
Maybe that's why they dropped just to cheat a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe who knows? Maybe this guy wanted to have a tagline, but the company was like, we're gonna call it Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, they want the novelty of the title, but that's the same problem with The Crow. If they just change the characters' names from Eric and what's her face to The Crow in a subtitle, it probably would have been better respected out the gate. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We're going to talk about this in a minute. I'm excited to talk about this. Sam Clegg says, hey, Planet, I'm so glad you like Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. I love that film. Dude, huge fan of Next of Kin. Huge fan of that. I'm multitasking, so maybe you already mentioned it. Have you guys heard about the whole Trash Revenge? Yeah, Jay, we literally just discussed the whole lawsuit that they just had with Beverly's company and Living Dead Media and all that. We just covered all of that. We need Clint Howard to play Frank. No, I got to be honest. No, absolutely not. There is no one, and I mean no one, that could play Frank.
Yeah, we need new characters for sure.
Let's see. I want a Zombieland on the set. I want it to be Zombieland on the set of Christmas Bloody Christmas. I agree with Christian about the title. I hated how Halloween 2018 was just called Halloween. But at the same time, I understand why it is. Yeah, so it's just like you gotta.
Terrible.
Yeah.
They should have called it Halloween 18.
Let's break this down really quick, though, Brandon. Okay. You said that this movie is taking place 4 months after.
That's what I read. 4 or 5 months after the first film in wintertime.
Well, if that's the case, there is no replacing anybody. Everybody in Louisville is dead.
Yeah, technically, but it looks like what the teaser suggested to me is that was the same. They're trying to do the exact same Tarman design. You know what I mean? It didn't look like a variant. It looked like the exact same Tarman design and silhouette from the first movie. So I'm not really sure what they're doing. Again, that could have been just hype up footage and they're not going to use it at all, but I'm not really sure.
I definitely think, and I won't hate it if that's the case, but I definitely feel what you saw was an old school 80s trailer shot specifically just for a trailer.
Yeah,
That's
but
my opinion.
I think so too. But I feel like they're going to use that Tarman design for some reason. I feel like they're going to try to replicate it as close as possible of the first movie.
Well, if Tony Gardner's doing that, you know, I'm all about bringing back Bill Munns to do Tarman again.
Yep.
But dude, I'm serious. I really would have loved Kenny Myers to come back because I think his design for Tarman in Part 2 was actually terrifying.
It was scary as shit. Yeah, Tarman 2 was a big, no joke, lumbering motherfucker.
Yeah, I think people goof on it because the mechanics of the eyes for a second or two, they kind of look goofy, but that's just in the mechanics. But the actual facial design of that thing, man, and the build
Freaky.
was really good.
Good.
So I really would love Kenny to come back, but I'll take Tony Gardner. Believe me, I'll take Tony Gardner any day of the week.
Yeah.
So I don't know, guys. We'll see. In terms of recasting, I don't want any of that. First of all, James Cameron's character Bert, he died in the movie. He killed himself in the fire, so we don't have to worry about any kind of hoopla with the great James Cameron. What's his face? Tom Matthews' character movie.
Freddy.
He was a zombie, so we ain't got to worry about him coming back. Honestly, I hate to say it, but the way the movie ends, they can get away with doing a kind of a whatever the fuck you call it, sequel, remake, whatever, and not have to worry about like it really is the kind of the perfect movie to carry on years and years later and not have to worry about recasting anything because everybody was in an explosion. They nuked Louisville. We all remember rhubarb, 40, Niner, hot dog, Amiga. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What a crazy ending, dude.
What if the drones are just promotion for Return of the Living Dead?
Dude, that'd be so good. They just nuke Jersey as promotion.
They nuke Jersey.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's got to be a new cast of characters, and I'm assuming it's gonna. I hope actually, it may be more of the vibe of Part 2 because when I think of Christmas, I think of like the suburbs and families. I'm not thinking about punkers in the graveyard dancing around naked. So I'm assuming it might be a little bit more like Part 2 than Part 1 as far as the setting goes. If it's a Christmas movie, right?
I would totally agree with that. Based off of that cemetery, those kinds of outdoor gated cemeteries, they're typically around suburban areas too, if that's going to be part of the set. I still think that was filmed just for a trailer, but if,
dude, if these zombies don't run, I'm going to flip out. They better run like in the first movie. They got to bring that back.
If they do any, I would be literally shocked. I mean, I would be picking my jaw up the floor for hours if they don't run. Like it's the most obvious thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, how are we going to kill them? I would be okay if it's electricity.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that. Maybe some of them, like, what if there's a mix? What if some of them you have to shoot the brains, but some of them you have to shock them? Like, there's different kinds of zombies.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things we could do here, but I don't know. Maybe that's making it too convoluted, too.
Well, especially if there's a variant of the trioxin stuff. Like, they can do anything they want.
I'll tell you what they should do. They need to have the not the half corpse back necessarily, although it would be great to have a new version of the half corpse, but we definitely need to have the paraplegic zombie that walks on his hands from Part 2, because that shit was terrifying.
It was.
When he just that amazing. Like, I would love that.
Fantastic.
We've never had any baby zombies or little kid zombies, though, in these movies, though, have we?
Not in the Living Dead films, no. Just Dawn of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. So.
Oh, here's another thing that Saturn Video brings up. Cash Camp Flashback said something that it's funny, but it's sad. I met the cast recently, and they all signed my one sheet. Miguel Nunez Jr. signed it. Spider, his character from Friday Part 5.
Awesome.
Dude, I have not heard one person have a good story about Miguel Nunez Jr. at a convention. Did you watch his interview that he did with Pizzal on his channel?
No, I've been meaning to. I don't think I could find it. I think I got impatient trying to find it because there's so much content to
yeah, because it was from a few years ago.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Piz. Like, during the interview, he openly just like, yeah, you got 5 minutes left. Just says that to him. It was like, God damn, man. I mean, yeah, I've never heard a good story about Miguel. Which to me is funny, and it makes me want to go see him just to see how bad he'd be to me. But some people have told me, I think it was Wes from Dead Pit said, like, he went to go meet Miguel, and he was on the phone, and literally didn't get off the phone, didn't say shit to him, signed his thing, just on the phone, told him to come here, and they took the picture. He put the phone behind his back for a second. As soon as the flash went off, he went right back on the phone. Like, it's kind of funny to me when somebody's that, like, just don't go, dude. Like, I know it's good money, but eventually word of mouth's going to spread if it's that bad. And then people are just going to stop going the line. And then you're going to end up losing money, paying to get there and everything.
Dude, Muzak brings up a good point, though, about that. He says, I thought his character from Friday 5 was Demon. You're right. Spider was his name in ROTLD.
Well, maybe
Demon was his name in
Friday 5. Well, if that's the case, I think what's his face? I think Camp Flashback probably meant to say Demon he probably signed it Demon instead of Spider. That's what I mean. I could, see, that's what I figured, yeah.
Demon, hell yeah.
So, here's the last thing I want to talk about with this movie, Brandon. Part 1 was punk rock. Part 2 was a little bit more hard rock with Leatherwolf and Joe Lamont and stuff like that. A little bit more of like a hair metal.
Killer fucking soundtrack.
Part 3 really wasn't. It didn't have a.
It's like an orchestral score, orchestral score.
Yeah,
the whole movie. Just
now. Here's the interesting thing. Part 4 was an Alice Cooper Godsmack soundtrack.
Right.
Power Man 5000. So new metal. And specifically new metal because they used Cold Machines from Alice's Brutal Planet record, which was a new metal record. By all accounts, that's a new metal record. And Rave to the Grave, I'd have to listen to it again. So the question is...
It's just techno music, right? In Part 5.
Probably so, yeah. The question is, what should they do for this movie soundtrack wise? I have a bad feeling it's going to be Christmas music.
Oh yeah, it could be Christmas. Yeah, that would make the most sense. It's not going to be punk music. It's probably not going to be heavy metal. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what I even want from that. You know what I mean? Like from a soundtrack now. Because who the fuck is what band would you even use now?
Well, they can't.
Soundtrack.
They definitely couldn't afford this. But when I think of cemeteries and gothic imagery, and hopefully they have a gorgeous cemetery, right? With the big, the statues and stuff. A band like Ghost definitely comes to mind with stuff like from Ghost, but they can't afford this company is not paying for Ghost tracks. They're one of the biggest bands in the world right now, so they can't afford that. So then I would say I would go into a more of a metal kind of area. I would go into like Swedish metal stuff, like Soilwork and stuff that's just really intense. I would go into something like that, but I don't know.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be just Christmas music and score. Bet you that's what they do. If they can even afford the Christmas music.
Sergio, thank you so much for the $4.99. Good evening, dudes. You are starring in The Substance 2. Who will you be switching bodies with every 7 days? Did you see that movie?
I have not. No.
Oh, it was really good.
I've heard
long story short, you become a younger, healthier version of yourself, but you're like a different person in the movie, and it turns out really bad at the end. Dude, I don't know who the hell I would want to switch with. Everybody's life kind of sucks, to be honest with you.
They got to take over somebody else's body in the film. Like they got to kill them and take them over, basically. That's weird.
It was a really good movie. It was like a David Cronenberg kind of body horror film that made sense. Not like the weird stuff David does today.
I want to talk about Nosferatu for a second, changing gears.
Thank you so much, Sergio. I'll give you an answer if I think of it, but I honestly don't want to switch with anybody. I hate everybody.
Yeah. Likewise.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Are you still pumped? Because I'm still fucking pumped for Nosferatu.
I am. I didn't think you were.
I was really pumped. I got a little bit.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I got a little bit less pumped when I saw that production art of what he looks like, or is supposedly going to look like, and it's grown on me. I don't think that's what the final design will be, and we're not going to spoil it, what it actually looks like. Christian, you've seen the photo I shared. That's actually production art, so it's not just like a rumor.
Oh, well, I've seen it online too.
I don't think
sources.
That's probably not going to be the final look, and I'm sure they're going to have. Well, I'm not going to say here because I don't want to worry anybody, but even if that's the case, I have 100% faith in Eggers to make a fucking badass Count Orlok that I think I'm going to love it no matter what. I'm too. Everything I keep seeing is hyping me up more and more and more, and that's a good recipe for disappointment. But I don't think we're going to be disappointed here at all. That video that released today, I think it was today, and this is not a spoiler, but they released a video of Count Orlok talking. Have you listened to it?
No, I do kind of try to avoid some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But you can describe it. If you describe it, it's fine.
You hear Bill Skarsgård talking as Orlok. He says like 5 or 6 lines, and he fucking, dude, it's crazy sounding. Like he sounds like the epitome of that Transylvanian old school Dracula accent with like a guttural old man pain as he's saying it. Like it does not sound like it does not sound like Skarsgård at all. It sounds totally fucking insane, dude. I was like, okay, this is nuts. It's fucking crazy.
He's
dude.
won me over, Skarsgård. He really has. I think he may not be in everything that I love, but I can see the talent that dude has. I'll tell you where he really won me over was his opening scene in the Barbarian, where he just played a normal guy.
Yep.
When I got to see him just do something. Like I was like, maybe this guy can be these crazy characters, but can he hold a conversation in a movie? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he can, and he was really good in that. So he won me over from that point on. I gotta watch The Crow. I have it that he did. Can't bring myself to watch it, to be honest with you, but I need to just to see it. But I have faith that he's gonna. He strikes me as the kind of guy that he locks himself in a closet for 6 weeks and just works on the character and then stays that way until the movie's done. With how good he is in his stuff. So no, dude, I'm counting on this still being the best movie of the year.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to it all year. I hope it's so good. I'm not going to see it probably on Christmas Day. I can't leave the family, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I should say. I can't do that on Christmas Day, unfortunately.
No. Plus, I feel bad for the people that are like working there that night.
Yeah.
Like there's that meme that says like it's a meme of like somebody going up to like a register and it's like the meme is like, "Hey man, why are you working today?" And it's like on Christmas and the guy responds, "Because you're here."
Yeah.
So it's just like I can't bring myself.
Yeah.
I'll go to the next day.
The next day. But
Yeah.
I'm so pumped, dude. I'm so pumped for that movie.
Here's another thing. I want this movie to be 3 hours long.
It better be long, dude. I think it's only 2. I've heard it's only 2 hours, but it needs to be like 2 hours and 50 minutes. That's what it needs to be.
I want to get lost in that world.
Yeah. I'm so fucking pumped up, dude.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. Thank you, Mike Mack, $9.99 super chat. Appreciate it, y'all. Happy Friday the 13th, though. Love your Interstellar review, CHH. Rewatching it in IMAX the other night rocked my world, dude. I'm so jealous. I couldn't find the time to be able to, get away to go see that in IMAX. But there's no doubt in my mind that is probably an insane experience. Brandon, I saw that for the first time a few weeks ago, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Nice. I
And
have not seen it.
I'm not a huge. Yeah, it was amazing. You can definitely tell if somebody just hopped in here. Yeah, Brian, you're gonna want to go back and watch the beginning of this stream, dude. We covered every last drop of this new Return of the Living Dead stuff, all of it. So Brandon, there's another thing I want to talk about right now, and that is 28 years later.
Yep,
has taken the world by storm.
it has.
Now I get a little bit of flack for this. I'm not a huge fan of 28 Days Later. I think 28 Weeks Later is a little bit better.
Agreed.
But here's the thing that's so weird. I don't know why, but I am so invested in 28 Years Later.
Mhm.
Like, I actually am really excited about it. I think it's going to be good. I saw some images of it, and I just think it looks like the real deal. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. And is Cillian Murphy coming back?
I think he is. I'm not sure if he's. I've heard there's going to be 2 parts to this movie, and he's going to be predominant in the second movie because he's not really he's not listed on the poster or anything. So if he's in this movie, I think it'll be a small part. I think it's hilarious that he's been debunked as that one zombie in the trailer. It's somebody else entirely. It does
I love that zombie.
It does sort of look like Cillian Murphy though, or Killian Murphy, whatever you call him.
I don't know.
I have high hopes for it. I really liked the second movie. I saw the second movie in theaters.
Excuse me.
And I think it was sort of a missed opportunity to not go from weeks to months and then years, but whatever. You know what I mean?
So what did they do? They went 28 days later.
Weeks, years. So
yeah, they never did make 28 months later, did they? It seems like people are interested in it though, and they're excited. Yeah, it's funny because I don't watch trailers anymore. I really don't. But obviously, just pulling up the internet now, or social media, it's like damn near impossible to avoid it. So it might have been X or Twitter or Instagram, one of the two. But I one of them was just I opened the app and when it started playing right in front of me, and I was like, well, fuck it, I'm here. So, and when I saw that zombie that looked like Murphy, I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I thought it looked great. I was like, of course he needs to die. Like, yeah, I don't want everybody to live forever in these movies. But the internet was freaking the fuck out to the fact that they had to have the actor, like his picture and all his like bio stuff was shown. Like, no, see, it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I don't know how that got out. But I would have been like, no, like keep it. Don't say shit. Let people freak out about it.
Yeah.
But it bummed me out. It bummed me out when I found out it wasn't him. I was like, oh, now everybody's gonna be like, dude. My worry about this kind of stuff is this, Brandon. Do you ever feel like maybe the internet has gotten to where they have more control over stuff than they should in terms of movies? I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. When Sonic the Hedgehog...
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it.
When that trailer dropped and he looked like a meth addict, I thought it was hysterical. But the internet freaked out so bad that the director said, okay, we're gonna start over.
They bullied that fucking studio straight up into fixing Sonic.
Now, Brandon, here's the question. Whether it's right or wrong is a different thing. Because in some instances, I could say, yeah, how do you fuck up Sonic that bad that he looks like a meth addict?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I get that. But at the same time, did that set a scary precedent for filmmakers no longer having control over their vision? And I'm saying that seriously.
I think to a certain extent, if they're filmmakers working for a huge studio, like in the case with Sonic, with tons of money, probably, yeah.
Let me see, Brandon. Brandon may have to step out for a second.
All right, I'm gonna step out for like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. I got it. Valentine is a fantastic film. All right, guys. So while we wait for Brandon, start dropping your questions, whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever questions you have. I can tell you guys this right now for the viewers of this channel. I will be watching either tonight or the next day. Silent Night, Deadly Night, the 4K. I got my review coming for that probably Monday. Also, a 4K review of Phantasm. That's right, Phantasm 4K media book. And I will tell you guys if this 4K looks legitimately good or not, and if it's worth picking up from Diabolic DVD. I'm very excited about this. So I've got that. I'm also going to be doing another video on the necromantic films because I got inspired from In Search of Darkness 90 through 94. I plan on doing a review of Godzilla -1 on 4K, but too much time has gone by. Nobody cares about me doing a video on that at this point. I need to order The Faculty on Amazon. I never ordered it. Probably not Saturn Video. I mean, I was really happy with that video I did today. But if I start getting into that sort of thing I'm smart enough to know that my audience as a general probably doesn't care too much about it. And it would just screw me in the algorithm, which is a shitty thing to say, but you have to learn how to play the game. And I'd say 99% of my audience could give a rat's ass what I think about a video game. Although for Patreon and making some sort of video like that exclusive for Patreon, absolutely, I'd love to do that. And I probably will, because Hyperstone Heist is a masterpiece. So that I'm excited for. I'm not holding my breath for Saw 11. I can tell you that right now. Is it true Dead Pit is mentioned on the back of the Silent Night, Deadly Night 4K? I guess there's only one way to find out. New 4K. Oh my God, yeah. Audio interview with director Charles E. Sellier Jr. from Dead Pit Radio. Yeah, they're on the back of this. Dead Pit Radio is on the back of this. They hate Scream Factory. And the fact that Scream Factory had to actually put Dead Pit's name on the back of this probably just eats Scream Factory up. You know what's funny about this? The Arrow Video 4K of Madman, which I bought, they didn't put Dead Pit's name on the back of it. But Dead Pit is actually a special feature on the Arrow Video 4K of Madman. So the fact, and Arrow doesn't have a problem with Dead Pit, but the fact that Dead Pit and Scream Factory hate each other, and the fact that Scream Factory actually had to put Dead Pit's name on the back of this has to be the funniest damn thing I've ever seen. Because they Scream Factory cease and desisted, however you say it. Scream Factory did a cease and desist on Dead Pit's parody merch that they were making called Shit Factory or Scheme Factory. They did a cease and desist on them. That is so funny. Yeah, they're on there. Oh my God. Any physical media people here concerned LG is dropping out of the Blu-ray game? Not really. I think with Panasonic and Sony still doing them, I don't know many people that had LG players, and I think LG only had super high-end players to begin with, which I don't know how popular they are. No, I'm not too concerned about that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not too concerned about LG dropping out. I just finished it before doing this. I thought No Country for Old Men was absolutely fantastic. I thought it was a fucking 10 out of 10 movie. Very, very nice, Brian. Very, very nice. Well, I wanted to get the Vinegar Syndrome Madman, but I thought I wanted to get the Arrow one because I just thought the Arrow one had a cooler. I just like the look of the Arrow one, and they're pretty similar. So I got the Arrow one. Are you good,
Sorry
Brandon?
about that.
Are you good?
Yeah,
You need to stop?
Isabella woke up throwing up everywhere. I had to help Shanna clean it up real quick.
Oh,
So
poor kid. Is she okay? She's sick,
she's
or
okay. She's yeah, she's not like digesting food properly or something.
oh,
I
she
think
might
it's
have a
those
bug.
Uncrustables or something she's eating for lunch at school. I don't know. Gnarly.
Anyway, Brandon, we were laughing because I've got the 4K for Silent Night, Deadly Night right here,
Nice.
and Scream Factory and Dead Pit hate each other. Dead Pit hates Scream Factory, and Scream Factory cease and desist Dead Pit's parody merch that they did of like Scheme Factory or Shit in the Box and all that. And it's so funny because it must have pained Scream Factory so much to actually have to put Dead Pit Radio on the back of here when they use an old interview commentary.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but yeah, No Country. People ask me about No Country for Old Men. It was fantastic. What's that actor's name that plays the villain? He's the
Javier Bardem.
He's a cartel guy, basically, is what he is, right? Javier. Yeah, he was good. He was so good. He was just so stoic.
Mm.
And then everybody was telling me, because I'm a wrestling fan, that Chris Jericho basically made his heel version that character from that movie in the late 2000s, which now seeing the movie and hearing that, it's like, oh, of course, that's literally what Jericho was doing.
Mm.
So we were talking about 28 weeks later, though, and I think we agree that it does look pretty cool, and everybody's excited about that. So I was just going to leave the rest of the show up tonight, guys, to whatever y'all want to discuss. So let it rip. And Brandon, do you have anything of interest to mention?
I had like 6 points I wanted to cover, and we've covered 2 of them, and I forgot the rest because I didn't write them down.
You'll think of it.
They're coming back to me right now.
It'll come to you. What's the plans this weekend? Flea market shopping again?
I wish. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be, well, maybe tomorrow I can get out to the flea market. Tomorrow's a big Christmas shopping day.
Are you kind of bummed that we never got those Spirit of Christmas stores by either of us?
I am. I really wanted to go to one, so it's unfortunate.
Did you see any video footage of people shopping at them?
I did, yeah.
I was shocked at how much horror stuff they have there. It looks like a lot of it's still horror.
Yeah, one video I saw was just all horror. I'm like, is this just a horror version, like a Christmas version of Spirit Halloween? They're like, no, it's just a section and it is all horror. I mean, that's sweet. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just interesting to me to see like Michael Myers reefs and stuff there. It's just like I don't know, it threw me off. But I mean, I definitely think that next year they're gonna roll it out to where, you know, there'll probably be 1,000 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how many there were? How many Spirit Halloween? Maybe I'm probably way overselling it. How many Spirit Halloweens do you think that they have in the country?
There's got to be like 500 of them, right? At least 500. I don't know. 500 is a lot, though. That's a lot. There's not a Spirit in every town, at least in my state. It's like every 5, 6, 7 towns, if even that.
Oh, check this out. I was actually underselling it. Last year, they had over 1,500 stores.
Wow. Holy crap. That's a lot.
So, Sandpiper releases of Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. Kevin thinks No Country is overrated. Man, I thought it was amazing. But fair enough, dude. Fair enough. People thought, when I talked about Interstellar, people thought the same thing. Have I ever ranked the Star Wars films? I say we do it right now.
Haven't we done this before with Star Wars? Or am I crazy?
Both.
Okay.
We may have, but I don't remember. I can tell you this right now, Brandon. Number 1, Empire Strikes Back. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Empire is the best one for sure.
And then I would go A New Hope. And then Return of the Jedi. This is going to shock you. Next, I'm going Episode 1.
Wow.
I think Episode 1 is just like the more rewatchable and fun one. There's so many fun segments with the pod racing, and I loved the big battle stuff with those robots and shit with all the Jar Jar Binks guys. Like, I just thought episode 1 was super fun.
It is fun.
And I saw it as a kid, so I can, I have those goggles for it, so to speak.
No, that movie is great. Don't let people fool you. These Star Wars purists. I'm a Star Wars purist too. I think we all are, probably in some certain way. But Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3 were fantastic because we saw that political corruption go down. Like, that was so cool to see happen slowly. Yeah. Fucking fantastic.
Next, I would go Episode 3, and then 2. Episode 2 after that. And then after that, I would say The Force Awakens, then the last one, and then I really hate that one where Luke Skywalker brushes his shoulder off in it, and he's a hologram. I hated it. Yeah. I just thought it was terrible.
It's abysmal.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't really like the new Star Wars films that much. They're fine, but I don't know. I can't say I really like them that much. I can watch them, but I really hate The Last Jedi. Uh-oh. Look at that baby. Oh, baby's crying. That's why he's got the mic muted. That baby's hollering. I did do one. I did a YouTube. I did a. What was I going to say? I did one for Creator VC, Sergio. So I posted my review on Instagram and all that. And then they posted my video on the Creator VC YouTube channel, my review. But I'll tell you right now, I thought 90 through 94 was absolutely fantastic. I can't even deny it. They did a great job on that. And they talked about a variety of stuff, not just super popular stuff that was coming out during that time, but they got into deep cut stuff, all kinds of movies. So they get my full stamp of approval on 90 through 94. Do you guys have any favorite first-time watches for the year? For me, my favorite were Great Escape, True Romance, Body Double, Hardcore, and Last American Virgin. Favorite first watches of the year for me? It's a great question. Definitely Late Night with the Devil was one of my favorites for sure. Interstellar. Jesus, Interstellar, man. Are you kidding me? Interstellar is probably my favorite. But I'll tell you, I got Body Double too, and I thought that was great. Let's see. Oh, we got another super chat. Let me get to that. Thank you so much, Camp Flashback, for the $4.99. B-Man, as you're walking back to your car in the theater parking lot. Oh, it's a question for Brandon. Damn it. Well, I'll make sure when he comes back he gets that. Thank you so much, though, Camp Flashback. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be reviewing The Faculty. I will be reviewing The Faculty. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I just think it's silly, or just too silly. But yeah, everybody's got their opinion though, especially with these damn Star Wars movies, man. Well, I saw it, but man, it's expensive as shit. You know, the hard VHS thing, it's kind of like vinyl. I really thought it was gonna like kind of start dwindling down, but it doesn't seem to. Like seems like it's here to stay. So like the VHS collecting stuff, it's super trendy still. And the fact that these companies are making VHSs again is wild. I never in a million years would have thought it'd be a thing. But the fact that it is a thing now is just mind-boggling to me.
Holy crap, what a night.
Oh, take your time, dude. You good? I think everybody's sick, dude. I'm still sick. My nose is just stopped up. I'm coughing like a jackass. Are you guys going to watch the new Nick Frost horror comedy, Send Up of Folk Horror like Wicker Man? It's called Getaway. Just thought in theaters on one day. You guys would dig it. You'd have to remind me. I've never heard of it, but I'd like if I get around to it, then absolutely. Brian, we had a super chat that was I read it. It was directed right towards you. B-Man, as you were walking back to your car in the theater parking lot, what were your immediate thoughts on Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace?
I didn't see Episode 1 in theaters, unfortunately. The first Star Wars I saw in theaters was 2. Yeah.
That's funny. I saw 2 and 3 as well. I fell asleep in 3, but it's because it was long and I was a kid.
2 and 3 were midnight events, man. Good old days.
I could really give a frog's fat ass about anything Star Wars related after Revenge of the Sith.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
This is a great question for you. What's the most rare horror VHS you found at a thrift shop?
Go
grab it.
Does the flea market count or no?
Of course.
The most rare one.
I think the flea market's even a better question than the thrift shop.
I think the most rare one was probably the shrink wrapped Death Becomes. No, actually, no. Yeah, I'll go in a second.
Go grab it. I watched it once and I was just like, I'm just not into them.
So I got this at the flea market several years ago. I think probably closer to 10 years ago now, I think.
Let's see it.
This is the John Waters film Pink Flamingos on VHS.
Oh, wow. That's legendary.
He has it marked as $12. I think I got it for like 5 or 6 because the guy didn't know. This thing is probably worth way more than $12. Good in condition.
What label put it out?
Clamshell case. The label says Harmony Vision. You can see that. But I love these clamshells, dude, with the thick, like leathery plastic. It's like thick, leathery. You can see the texture on it and shit. The really thick clamshell. It's heavy. Really super heavy VHS tape. No white mold. It's hilarious, too, because it just says Pink Flamingo on there.
On the tape?
On the tape, it says Pink Flamingo. It's an official label.
Look, Brandon, this is the eBay listing I found. There
it is. That's the same one I got.
Look at the price, though. $65.
Nice. See, I got this for a steal, man. Look at that. That's the same version. Yeah, this is probably the most rare. What's weird, though, is that clamshell is golden. It's a black clamshell.
Oh, dude, this is the gold version, brother.
So maybe that's the original version, and this is like a replacement clamshell. I'm not sure, but either way, this is probably the most rare in terms of actually being rare. So,
very, very nice. Peanut butter solution. Yeah, that's my answer, Dynamite Tiger. That's my favorite video I've done this year too. My peanut butter solution review was hands down my favorite video I did.
Let me do my Star Wars ranking real fast, Christian. I didn't have a chance to do it. I wrote it out. Okay, so first, the number 1 is Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. Number 2 would be Return of the Jedi, Episode 6. Number 3 for me would be Attack of the Clones, which is Episode 2. I unapologetically love that fucking movie, right? 4th would be Episode 3. 5th would be Episode 4, so New Hope. Then we have Episode 1, then 7, then 9, then 8. So I think 8 is a total train wreck. 9 is not that much better, but yeah, that's my ranking right there. There it is. Merry Christmas.
Seen VHS Beyond the VHS franchise. Well, I loved it. I think Brandon would love it too. It was really good.
I need to watch those movies for sure.
Somebody said, what's $70 for a steelbook? What y'all talking about? Favorite horror game? Did you ever play a bunch of horror games growing up?
I don't know about a bunch, but my Castlevania counts too. I guess,
sure.
Right?
That's got.
I'm gonna not count Castlevania because it's like not. It's horror, but it's not like. If we're counting that, I'm gonna say Super Castlevania 4, or Symphony of the Night, or Bloodlines. Those 3 in order. But if we're talking about actual like horror, I'm gonna go with Silent Hill 3 for sure.
For Xbox or PlayStation or
Silent Hill 3 for PS2. I recently got the Xbox One bundle version that has like Silent Hill 2 and 3 in it, but I haven't played it yet. But Silent Hill 3 was legitimately scary.
Yeah. I never got into those games. I just saw the movie, then I learned afterwards it was a game. But talk about video game movie adaptations. Silent Hill the movie has got to be one of the best.
It's a masterpiece.
Dude, it scared the shit out of me when I first saw it. That dude that's tied up coming out of the bathroom going,
yeah.
Oh God, dude, it bothers me.
Yeah.
It fucking bothered me.
That's probably why I liked Silent Hill Revelations as much as I do. It's not a great film. I get why everybody doesn't like it because it's schlocky, but it's basically as close as you can come to the Silent Hill 3 game. That's why I liked it so much. It pretty much follows that story. So
I was at the antique mall the other day and a sealed copy of Silence of the Lambs was $70. That's ridiculous.
Jeez. Yeah, that's oof.
This is a great question. How do you feel about performers, bands using backing tracks and not being truly live? I'm not a huge fan of it, but the fact that like somebody like Blackie Lawless will say, listen, I'm definitely singing, but I also pump in backing vocals and stuff to help me because I want it to sound as good as the records do and give people the experience. I can stomach that, but like when you don't acknowledge it or don't say anything about it, that kills me.
Yeah, if they're admitting to it, that's okay because they're admitting to it.
Well,
you can get on board with it.
Well, I can stomach it better. I still don't like it, but at the same time, you have to. This is only when I listen to Eddie Trunk talk about this. He is so against it, and I get it. But if I could talk to Eddie, I would say, Eddie, Blackie's like 67 years old. Like, he's not 30 anymore. Like, hair metal is a young man genre.
Yeah, because well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Wasp is kind of somewhere in between hair metal and just kind of like heavy metal. They had like a crossover appeal because they were super heavy, very well written riffs and stuff, but they also had some anthemic stuff. So they're a band that my point is Blackie's 60 something years old. So it's like I can stomach him doing some stuff to help him out to fill out the speakers and the mix. But I mean, if it's young artists doing this stuff like today, which kills me, people will pay ungodly amounts of money to go to a concert where it's literally a backing track with dancers and the singer not saying a word. Why are you paying that? I can't. Come to my house for $20, dude. Let me put on the goddamn disco ball. I'll lip sync the entirety of "Oops, I Did It Again" to you.
Yeah. And to your point about Eddie Trunk is he seems to consider backing tracks and lip syncing one and the same, which it's not really. Like to me, lip syncing is where you're just miming the words on stage when you cannot sing at all. Backing tracks, as much as we don't like them, at least they're still trying to sing over them, like you said with Blackie Lawless, because they can't do it. And they're being honest about it. With Paul Stanley, and this hurts because Paul Stanley is my fucking hero. Kiss. I love Kiss. The fact that they were so adamantly against bands using backing tracks and or lip singing for so long, and the whole End of the Road tour, indisputably, inarguably, Paul was lip singing or at least using heavy backing tracks for most of that tour. And for him to not only not admit to it, but then actively deny it and still actively shame other bands for doing that same thing, it kind of puts a bad taste in your mouth. I feel like if you're just honest, because Paul was one of the best singers in rock, as far as I'm concerned, for a long time. And if he had come out and said, look, I know we've talked shit about this before, but we want to do one more big tour. My voice is shot. We're going to come out there. I'm going to use backing tracks to help me out. I'm still going to be live, but I'm going to use backing tracks because the show won't sound good otherwise. If he was just honest with everybody, there wouldn't be the kind of trolls that they had and the backlash they had for that final tour. If you had just been honest about it.
Absolutely.
Because Kiss, I would have still paid primo money to see them. And I did, if they had just been honest about it too, because I don't know, I don't understand why Why does this need to deny it if you're going to do it? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad too because after the shows and the tour ended, Gene has been definitely poking fun at Paul on his solo tour, not directly saying Paul's name, but like you go to these Simmons band, which I would go see that. I would go see the
Fuck
Gene
yeah.
Simmons band.
Yeah.
But you go up to these shows, there's videos recently of Gene on stage. He goes up to the mic and he'll say stuff like, "Oh, you see this mic? This mic's actually on." Like stuff like that. And the crowd will go, "Oh." And it's just funny that like my thing is I would love to have been a fly on the wall when the decision was made to do backing vocals for Paul's, because clearly Gene doesn't have that issue still. Luckily, he still has a good voice, but at the same time, Gene's vocals were never super high range the way Paul's were. But I don't know, dude. Like, it bums me out. And there's only a few guys left that can still sing good at that age. And the problem with Paul was that type of singing is a young man genre, man. It's not. I love Alice Cooper, and I'm so glad Alice sounds great. Alice never sang in those registers. It's just that simple. You know, he never did. So, and thankfully Alice takes good care of himself, so he sounds fantastic. But that's why I tell people, if you want to experience a true rock show with a guy with the catalog to do it and experience it like it's still 1986, go see Alice. I mean, it's still that it's so good, you know. But yeah, I'm not big on lip singing and backing tracks, and I it's like it to me, lip syncing is like CGI. You can get really close and you can get good, but even the closer you get, the more annoyed you get because your body is telling you it's not real.
Right.
So your body revolts against something. Even if you can be tricked into thinking it's real, eventually you'll get mad at it. So
do you think Aerosmith is good for bowing out gracefully once Steven Tyler's voice was just like, "Oh, we've had it," and they canceled the rest of the tour?
1,000%.
Or do you think he should have said like, "No, we're going to use some backing tracks. I'm still going to sing, but like, I fucking needed to see Aerosmith. That was one of those bands. Like, they're on the list of bands I have to see before they go away. Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, AC/DC, Metallica." Those kind of bands that I need to see at some point, and Aerosmith can't be on that list no more. So I almost feel like I wish they would have just lowered the price of the ticket a little bit, use the backing track, and Steven just do the best he could, just to you know what I mean, just to be honest about it. But don't cancel the tour. Like, what's better?
I mean, I think what they did is the most honorable thing. The same thing with Rush. Rush never did a farewell tour. They basically just kind of said, "Hey, make sure you come see us this tour." They never promoted it as a farewell tour. They just had a tour around 2012 or 13. And after that, they never bowed out. They never said we're done. Eventually Neil died, and then that was it. I think as somebody who's a failed musician, but still loves to play and do my thing, when I see my heroes do things with so much honor and integrity, for me, that's like, I love that. You know, so I like what Aerosmith did. I think that's, it's real.
It is.
It's so
honorable.
real.
It's real. It's just like,
nothing's real anymore. Yeah. Like if you're seeing Steven Tyler backing tracks, you're not seeing Aerosmith. You're seeing a fake show. So, Brandon, a lot of people were asking us about Rumpelstiltskin, which I know both of us ordered. Didn't you order the family pack?
I think so. I got the expensive one. Whatever's in it, I forgot. But
a bib.
Yeah. When are we getting that stuff? Like, when does it ship out? January?
I don't know. I know that mine hasn't shipped yet, but people in the chat, guys, follow up in the comments section again because the comments have moved on. By the way, yes, I agree. Marilyn Manson's new record is the best one he's done since probably Antichrist, in my opinion. It is better than Pale Emperor, which pained me to say because I love that record. Brandon, I don't know if you listened to it top to bottom.
I have.
I loved it.
It's really, really good. I think. Is Raise Your Red Flag your favorite song?
Is that the one that goes something P up? The bullet got the
It's
bullseye
yeah, it's gonna be
on my back.
it's gonna be a
Yes,
concert anthem for sure. I mean, he
it's
probably played that at the show you saw. I'm
no.
assuming.
I'll tell you why he didn't. He got it. I found an interview about that. He did play when I saw him. He did play secrets. Only as sick as the secrets within, which I think
Yeah.
is a classic Manson song.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't play Raise the Red Flag because he didn't have time to promote it.
Okay.
So now he'll probably start playing it early next year. But dude, let me tell you, he was good. I saw a healthy, focused Marilyn Manson,
I'm
and
so glad he's back.
it was amazing, dude.
That's so good that he turned it around, dude. Because the last 3 or 4 times I saw him, he was the bloated, fat, sloppy, not good sounding Manson.
No,
I'm
this
still glad I
Manson,
saw him, but
dude, this Manson nailed everything.
yeah,
Like
I've
all
seen.
his screams were amazing.
I've looked at the footage from concerts, and I'm like, it's like 2003 Manson again.
Yes,
He even looks like Golden Age of Grotesque era Manson. He's got the
Uh,
short hair here. I'm like, dude, it's fucking fantastic, dude.
dude. Yeah, but
Whatever
no,
he did.
I love the new record. I was like, there's always a year, like when I look back at years, I'll say this year, this is the record for me. 2024 for me, hands down. The new Manson record is like my record for the year. It
Yeah.
is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And like to me, I need Zombie to come out with a classic record again. I thought the last record he put out had a couple good songs on it, but as a whole, it was a mishmash record. It was crappy overall, and I need Zombie to put out a good record. Now that he's got Riggs back, we need Hellbilly Deluxe 3 or the Sinister Urge 2 in essence. Not necessarily calling it that, although he could do Hellbilly Deluxe 3. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why not. He already did. If you did a 2, you may as well do a 3. But
He's
now
got
that
Blasco back too, right?
he's got Blasco
Fucking
back,
A.
he's got Riggs back.
Yeah.
John 5 is going to go down in history as the biggest idiot walking God's green earth to leave the perfect gig
Yeah.
with Rob Zombie, with playing all those classic riffs where John was such a star in the band, to now
Yeah.
playing with a disgustingly, pathetically sounding Motley Crue because he wanted to fulfill his boyhood dream of playing in one of his favorite bands growing up. I got news for you. Motley Crue is trash. They're bums. They've put out some good records, absolutely. But guess what? Mick Mars not being in that band is a God-forsaken tragedy. I understand he can't play anymore, but you want to talk about having decency and class. With Mick Mars not being able to play, if they would have hung it up and said, "Hey, Mick Mars is the sound of Motley Crue. We're gonna hang it up." That's one thing. But for them to continue on without Mick frickin' Mars and have Vince Neil look like an absolute mucus man from those commercials. He looks like the mucus man. It's a joke. John 5 is the biggest idiot walking God's green. If I ever could meet John 5, I would say, listen, dude, you're one of the greatest guitar players of the modern era, but you're the dumbest guys walking God's green earth. You're a joke. You're an absolute joke. And then the new song that Motley Crue put out was so bad. It sounds like it was done by a computer, the whole song. It's terrible.
It could have been.
It's shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like if you pay money to go see Motley Crue today, you're an idiot. Like you just are. I'm sorry. They're that bad.
Yeah.
You're literally wasting money. And there's so many rumors about Nikki Sixx not even playing his bass that all the bass tracks are backed up. So yeah, I got no love lost for Motley Crue today. Very cool, Don. Rob does still sound good. He's a legend. He's saying December 17th is when not Rumble. Well, I tell you what, it's the 13th, and I definitely ain't got mine shipped yet. So I don't know when that's going to ship. Unless it's shipped today and I haven't checked my email. Let me see. I'm looking at my emails now. Has anybody's Rumpelstiltskin shipped? Let me know. I don't see it yet. No, mine hasn't shipped. Nope, waiting on mine. Hope to hear something on the 17th.
All right, there I'm back. I was muted. Sorry about
that. Talk, Brandon. Say something.
Check 1 2.
Oh, go to your settings. It looks like you're not using your Yeti anymore. It's coming out of your actual computer. Something might have happened.
How about now?
There you go. There you go. But anyway, listen, guys. We're getting close to 2 hours. We do these shows 2 hours. Final round. Drop your questions. Final round. Make them crazy. Make them good. I agree. No Mick, no crew. I agree. Yeah, well, a contract means shit if they all agree to violate it. Dude, it's funny. I saw Motley Crue on their farewell tour 10 years ago in 2014 with Alice Cooper. And Alice Cooper wiped the floor with Motley Crue. Think about that, Brandon. I saw Motley Crue on their farewell tour 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
Top 3 beers.
Top 3 beers. Ooh. 1884 Blanc. 1884 Blanc. I'm gonna go with Amberbach as number 2. And three is tough because I want to say Jacko from Sam Adams, but that's only yearly. So I'll just say.
Well, is it good?
It's really good, but it's not something you can find all year. I'm going to say. I'll say Rolling Rock or Corona for number 3 because it's so easy to drink.
You like do you like those light ales or those like yellow? Those aren't dark beers. Those are light beers, right?
Yeah, they're called lagers. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, Rolling Rock. The only reason I know about Rolling Rock is because of the Angry Video Game Nerd. But I never see Rolling Rock.
Yeah,
I have to go check my Walmart to see if they have any.
Rolling Rock's good. Rolling Rock's really
my
good.
My number one, you're gonna laugh your ass off. My number 1 is definitely Angry Orchard hard apple ciders. I love them. I also love a very cold Coors Light. And this is I'm such a baby back bitch, but I also love a good Miller Lite. I'm not fluid in like getting into like the specialty stuff. Although this next coming year, I definitely want to get some holiday beers for sure. Like I want to get a bunch of Halloween beers, but I need to go to like World Market, right? That's where you can get a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, World of Beer, World Market, Total Wine, but yeah, luckily here Publix has a lot of Halloween beer every year and Christmas beer. I've kind of gotten off beer. I sort of want to get back into it a little bit, tasting the weirder stuff.
As a fan of Hack the Movies, did you ever check out Movie Dumpster? I have, yeah. I've talked to those guys a few times. I've thought about trying to work with them to do something, but everybody stays so busy. I haven't. Let's see. Heard this on Dead Pit the other day. What were your first cars? My first car was a Ford Focus that I flipped upside down. Oh, baby screaming.
Can't catch a break tonight.
Oh, she's upset. Wow. Damn, Brandon. That kid wants a
It sounds like Isabella's pretty sick, so I'm probably gonna have to get off here, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. All right, last question. We're gonna wrap it up. Favorite Christmas horror movie? Mine's gonna Silent Night, Deadly Night 4.
Nice. I'm gonna say Scrooged. If Scrooged doesn't count, then I'll say Krampus 2015.
I thought it was Krampus. You say Krampus?
I say Krampus. What do you say? Krampus?
I say Krampus is better than Trick or Treat.
I agree.
Yeah. Listen, guys, thank y'all so much. Had a lot of people in here all night, well over 120 people. Please drop a like before you go. Happy Friday the 13th. If Planet Dirty does not see you before the new year, have a great holiday season from us, guys. Be safe. Enjoy it. Spend time with your families. And we love y'all. God bless y'all. And I'll give you the outro. Brandon, you can take off, but I'm going to play the outro for everybody.
I'll talk to you later.
See y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Mongolian beef. It is off the chain. Oh, it's crispy. Dude, it's fantastic. That shit is fantastic.